Google Stitch, build and automate anything with Google's free AI design tool. Most people are still spending hours designing apps from scratch, drawing wireframes by hand, going back and forth between designers and developers, copying pixels one at a time, and wasting days on something that should take minutes. Meanwhile, Google quietly dropped a free tool that does all of it for you, and almost nobody is talking about it yet. So let me show you exactly how it works before everyone else catches on. What's up, everyone? I'm Julian, and today I'm breaking down Google Stitch. This is one of the most useful AI tools I've found in a while. It takes a simple text description or even a rough sketch and turns it into a full app design with real code you can actually use. And the best part is it's completely free right now. I'm going to walk you through everything, what it does, how to use it, the features most people miss, and some tricks that will save you a crazy amount of time. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to go from an idea in your head to a working app interface in minutes. So, what exactly is Google Stitch? It's an AI powered design tool that came out of Google Labs. Google first announced it at Google I/O in May 2025. Basically, they had acquired a tool called Galileo AI and rebuilt it from the ground up using their Gemini AI models. Then they rebranded it as Stitch. And what it does is pretty simple to explain. You tell it what you want in plain English, something like design me a food delivery app with a white background and orange buttons. And within seconds, it gives you a complete set of screens, navigation, cards, buttons, icons, the whole thing done. But here's where it gets really interesting and where most people stop paying attention too early. Stitch doesn't just give you a picture of a design, it gives you the actual front end code, real HTML and CSS that you can take and drop straight into a project. And it also lets you export directly to Figma with one click. So whether you're a developer who needs a starting point or a designer who wants to move faster, this thing fits right into your workflow. Now, let me talk about the two modes because this is something a lot of people get confused about. Stitch has two AI modes. The first one is standard mode. And this runs on Gemini 2.5 Flash. It's fast, really fast. You type a prompt and you get a design in seconds. You get up to 350 generations per month in this mode. That's a lot of designs. This is the one you want to use when you're exploring ideas quickly, brainstorming layouts, testing different directions. The second mode is experimental mode. This runs on Gemini 2.5 Pro. And more recently, they've integrated Gemini 3, which made the outputs even better. This mode gives you higher quality and more detailed designs. You get fewer generations per month, but the quality jump is noticeable. The layouts look more polished, the spacing is tighter, the visual hierarchy makes more sense. So think of standard mode as your quick sketch pad and experimental mode as your final draft tool. Now here's the part that blew my mind when I first tried it. You don't even need to type anything. You can upload an image, take a photo of a whiteboard sketch, snap a picture of a wireframe you drew on a napkin, upload a screenshot of an app you like, and Stitch will turn it into a clean digital design. This is available in experimental mode, and it means you can go from a rough idea on paper to a polished mockup without touching a design tool. Once you have your design, the real power comes from how you refine it. Stitch has an interactive chat built right in, so you can say things like make the header bigger, change the accent color to blue, add a search bar at the top, move the navigation to the bottom, and it updates the design based on your instructions. It's like having a conversation with the designer who works instantly. You can also generate multiple variants of the same screen. So instead of committing to one layout, you can see 3 or 4 different versions side by side and pick the one that works best. And they've added a canvas view that lets you see your entire user flow laid out at once, all your screens, all connected. This turns Stitch from a single screen generator into something that actually helps you plan a full product. Plus, you can use multi-select to hold shift, click several screens, and apply changes to all of them at once with a single prompt. Want to swap to a dark theme across your entire project? One command, done. No more updating screens one by one. On top of that, they added a prototypes feature in December 2025 alongside the Gemini 3 integration. This lets you stitch together different screens into a working prototype with interactions and user flows. So instead of just looking at static screens, you can actually test how your app would feel to use. Before this, you'd need separate tools for prototyping about what you actually do with the output. Once your design looks good, you have a few options. First, you can copy it straight to Figma. Your entire design shows up with editable layers and auto layout already configured. Not a flat image, actual components you can move around and refine. One thing to note is that Figma export is only available in standard mode when generating from text prompts. If you used image inputs in experimental mode, that option isn't available. Second, you can export the front end code. Stitch generates clean HTML and CS that follows modern standards. Complex interactions still need manual work, but as a starting point, it gets you most of the way there. You can also export your designs to Google AI Studio. This lets you take your UI designs and turn them into working app like prototypes powered by Gemini. So you can go from a text prompt in Stitch to a shareable interactive demo without needing a full development setup. That's a pretty powerful pipeline if you think about it. Now, I want to be real with you about the limitations because I don't want to oversell this. Stitch is still experimental, still in Google Labs. The designs it generates are great starting points, but they won't replace a skilled designer for complex projects. Sometimes components don't align perfectly, colors might drift from what you asked for, and multi-screen flows still need some cleanup to feel cohesive. But that's okay because the value is in getting 80% of the way there fast and then refining the last 20% yourself. Let me give you some practical tips for getting the best results. First, be specific with your prompts. Don't just say, make me an app. Say something like, design a mobile fitness tracker app with a dark theme, rounded cards, a bottom navigation bar, and a dashboard showing weekly stats. The more detail you give it, the better the output. Second, use reference images when you can. If there's a design style you like, upload a screenshot in experimental mode and let Stitch use it as a guide. Third, use the variant feature. Don't settle for the first result. Generate 3 or 4 options and pick the best elements from each. Fourth, refine through chat. After the first generation, use the chat to tweak specific elements. This iterative approach gives you way more control than trying to get everything right in one prompt. And here's a workflow that works really well. Start with a quick text prompt in standard mode to explore directions, find a layout you like, then switch to experimental mode for higher quality. Use the theme editor to lock in your brand colors, export to Figma for final polish, grab the code. This whole process takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes for a complete set of app screens. One more thing I want to mention, Google is actively developing Stitch with more advanced features on the way. They're testing things like an MCP server for connecting Stitch to other developer tools, Gemini CLI support for command line workflows, and specialized agent skills that could automatically generate design documentation or convert designs into React components. These are still in preview, but they show where this tool is heading. It's becoming more than just a design generator. It's shaping up to be part of a complete design to development pipeline.